Today, the 10th World Meeting of Families got underway in Rome this year. There are thousands of delegates expected to attend from all over the world. Some are representing different bishops' conferences, others are representing various ecclesiastical movements. The first item of business, though, was to register for this Congress, which meant those thousands of delegates gathered outside of the Holy Office next to the entrance to the Vatican City to collect their pilgrims' packs. It took a while to organise, but while we were waiting to get those packs, we in the delegation from Scotland were talking to other delegates from around the world, from those from Puerto Rico and France and Ireland and Mexico. And eventually we got our pilgrims' packs, and inside we found various things. There was a map, there was a cap, some hygiene masks, a notepad, and other tickets and invitations to the events about the World Meeting of Families. The first part of the World Meeting of Families, though, was to take place shortly after, the same evening, and that was to be the Festival of Families, as it's called. And this was going to take place in the Paul VI Audience Hall. And that audience hall, located just inside the Vatican, the audience hall can sit about 7,000 people. So later on in the evening, we made our way to the audience hall with the other delegates. And this hall, if you've not been to Rome, is very famous. It's often used as the location for general audiences with the Pope. He would meet pilgrims there as well, and other various occasions and meetings. So this evening we were going to have what's called the Festival of Families in the audience hall. It began to fill up with various participants from all over the world, and there was a real sense of occasion as we waited. There was an orchestra taking its place, and we could see the other invited guests arriving and going up onto the platform. And there was also, of course, the spiritual symbols there as well. The official icon for the World Meeting of Families. The World Meeting of Families always has an image associated with it, commissioned just for that. And we had the icon there of the representing the wedding at Cana. And also there was a reliquary holding the relics of the first married couple ever to be beatified by the Church, and they are patrons of the World Meeting of Families. Before the meeting began, there was a lot of people milling around and talking throughout the audience hall. Bishop Keenan of Paisley, who was leading our delegation, met a couple of representatives from the Irish Grandparents Association. They were there too, as well as a family from the United States who was there to promote a children's rosary initiative. The celebration eventually got underway and was introduced by a couple, an Italian couple who are well known in Italian TV personalities. They introduced and presided over the evening, and we were treated to music from the Italian trio called Il Volo, who sang various songs, including an Ave Maria. And after that, we had a series of testimonies from 5 different families from various parts of the world, speaking about their own experiences, plights, difficulties, joys and sorrows, including a family from the Ukraine who have been given refuge in Italy, speaking about that experience of having to flee their homeland, and how an Italian family opened their own home to them and made sacrifices in order to welcome them into their home. Also, there was a couple from the Congo who spoke of their own difficulties in their own marriage and how they managed through pardon to help overcome these as well. And different families speaking about different situations and tragedies in their life, and the role that faith in God had in overcoming those tragedies and difficulties. By that stage, the Pope had arrived and was listening carefully to these different marriage testimonies. At the end of the marriage testimonies, the Pope said a few words and shared a few words with us. And he said that, speaking about God and God's plan, he mentioned that wherever a man and a woman love each other God offers them the gift of marriage. It's a marvellous gift, which contains the very power of God's love, strong, enduring, faithful, and ready to start over after every failure and after every moment of weakness. And so he encouraged us along the way and ended the evening by imparting his blessing. After that, there was the premiere, really, at the World Meeting of Families of the hymn composed for this year. And it was conducted by Marco Fresina and the choir of the Diocese of Rome. They began to sing that hymn, and as they sang that hymn, we made our way back outside and into the hot Roman evening, and that drew to a close the first day of the World Meeting of Families.